One can only see clearly with the heart. What is essential is invisible to the naked eye. The famous quote from the novel The Little Prince is visualized in Inside Out, a movie about the emotional pieces that exist within each of us. Inside Out is Pixar's 15th film, also a very Pixar-style film. The film is like an adventure in a memory maze where the audience can laugh, but soon can be moved to tears in the same moment by the details that are close and familiar to daily life. With unique and novel content, Inside Out takes the audience from one surprise to another in the journey to discover the mysteries of the soul. The subtle and interesting expression from the film crew has made viewers have a whole new perspective on a version of their own soul. Have you ever looked directly at someone and wondered what they were thinking? It is a very common question to anyone in everyday life. In 2009, the director Pete Docter saw his daughter Ellie becoming less talkative and more withdrawn. That made him wonder what his son was thinking and why there was such a change. The idea of exploiting a world located inside the human brain was born here. Pete Docter and Ronnie Del Carmen and colleagues selected 27 of the most common human emotions and from that filtered out 5 more typical emotions / that is joyfulness, sadness, disgust, anger, and fear. Inside Out has extremely simple content. But the idea of human emotions as well as images of memory is extremely new and creative. Director Pete Docter has created a giant world with its own zones, characters and rules that are both logical and fun, and recreate the way the brain works correctly. In the movie, Riley is governed by 5 emotions: joy, sadness, disgust, anger, and fear. These 5 emotions are personified into living characters, and together they live under one roof, that is the mind of an 11-year-old girl named Riley. Pete Docter is a director, but also a father who wants to listen and then open the secret door into the world of his daughter's soul through a 90-minute animated film. The film begins with Riley's birth. From the void inside the girl, joy appeared. The brain organ forms with memory spheres that appear with each event that occurs in Riley's life, and take on the color of the emotions she felt at the time. After joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger appear one after another. Each emotion plays its own role and they all try their best to help Riley have happy days. Since childhood, Riley's memories are always filled with joy and happiness. And Joy believes that only happy memories bring happiness to Riley, not the blue that sadness brings. Therefore, she is always happy and always tries to make the people around her happy, which makes sadness always the lost person in the group. But later on, in the journey of joy and sadness, sadness proves the meaning of its existence. The first time Joy had a different view of sadness was when she comforted Bing Bon, an imaginary friend when Riley was a child, when the plane that 2 people used to play was moved to the memory dump. In the emotional world of Inside Out, everything that goes to the memory dump is lost without being restored. Bing Bong cried a lot. While Joy tried to make fun of it, the only thing sadness could do was sit next to Bing Bong and listen to him talk. Thanks to sadness's sympathy and sharing of sadness, Bing Bon felt better and happy again. That's something Joy couldn't do. The happy memory ball that Joy found was formed from the sadness that comes from. Sometimes you just need to listen to that person and do nothing more. It is when emotions are released, sadness is melted away to make room for other emotions. The story begins when Riley, a 12-year-old girl, has to move from Minnesota to San Francisco. The new house is not as sparkling as in the imagination. Plus the surprises at the new school, the girl's personality and emotions also become erratic, all of which brings chaos to the 5 emotional friends. Riley's headquarters. The emotions of joy, sadness, anger, and fear are no longer as clear and simple as before. Those feelings were born at the same time as Riley had the same life experience as her, so she didn't know how to deal with new experiences. They argue about how to let Riley react, then trouble arises when joy and sadness get lost, wandering in a large area of Riley's mind that is no longer at the center, leading to a situation where Riley no longer knows joy and sadness but only anger, fear, and disgust everything. So the journey begins. Joy and sadness must find their way back to the heart of Riley's brain to make sure she will be happy. Along the journey to follow joy and sadness, we also meet some interesting and special friends, including the character of the girl's imaginary childhood friend, Bing Bon. Riley's childhood friend Bing Bon always wishes to one day ride a rocket to the moon with her. But Riley has grown up. She has gradually forgotten this special friend. When trying to help joy and sadness return to the brain, Bing Bon, despite wanting to see Riley again, he decided to sacrifice himself so joy could return, with a message that is sure to move viewers. Take her to the moon for me. This can be seen as the scene that took away a lot of tears from the audience. Day by day, Riley's memory spheres will be pushed down to the memory dump and disappear. We will then grow up, experience new life, receive new memories, and then have to say goodbye to beautiful memories, part of our beautiful past life. Both feelings returned only when Joy discovered that, behind the marbles of Riley's happy and joyful memories that she kept, they could have been created from the sad emotion that sadness had before. After a lot of crazy thoughts and decisions, little Riley has regained her balance and matured in her actions and personality. Riley gradually adjusts to her new home, building many new personality islands to replace those that have collapsed during the psychological crisis. The feelings of the more mature girl are now a mixture of emotions. The colors of the memory spheres are no longer unique. Pixar's animated films have never been purely entertaining. Behind the bright, cute images that make children laugh are always valuable messages, intense emotions even adults have to absorb. Inside Out is a story about growth, about joy and sadness. The human brain cannot hold all the memories. There are moments that will be forgotten over the years, pushed down to the memory dump and then disappear as if it never happened. There will also be memories, whether filled with tears or filled with laughter, that will stay with us forever. Everyone has to grow up, experience life, receive new memories so that one day, old memories will come back and bring recovery. The journey to happiness always has to go through difficulties, hardships, and even tears. Only when living true to their own feelings can each person then find the brightest smile. The film also shows that life is the neutralization of many emotions. Happy things are easy to forget, but sad things are agonizing and forever settled. Perhaps everyone likes the character Joy, but if in the world of Riley's soul there is only joy, she will forever be just a monotonous color. Therefore, each emotion is a piece of the soul-building puzzle, making us look at life with multidimensional and sentimental eyes. Emotions, like people, also need to mature over time. Before the events, Riley's emotions were somewhat dualistic. Joy was simply happy, sadness was simply sad, fear was just fear, disgust was just talkative, anger was just hot-blooded. But after the event, each emotion began to have a balance. Joy finally cried, sadness smiled more, fear had a certain calm, anger also knew how to restrain, disgust was also open to new, more strange. Changes don't make things worse, they just make us learn to be more balanced when faced with new challenges. The special thing in the movie is that when Bing Bon is sad, sadness is by her side, but when Joy cries, she is alone. This detail is good. Joy herself also realized that she needed to be sad. Sad, it's time for her to see clearly what can heal Riley's soul. Sad, that's when she looked at the blue memory ball, so Riley wrapped around her parents' shoulders when she lost a hockey game. She suddenly understood that sadness is also filled with happiness, through connecting people to share. Have you ever wondered why tears can appear in the happiest and most emotional moments? Sadness exists permanently somewhere in life's moments. But joy is also what gives hope and trust. We can't say sadness or joy, fear or anger, which is more important. They will grow and change with you. Because a memory can be happy when you are only 2 years old, but can be sad when you are 20. The creators of Inside Out, including director Pete Docter, made the smart choice to name the character Joy instead of Happiness. In the end, joy is only one element of happiness, and happiness can be tinged with other emotions, even sadness. Inside Out took 4 years to complete. 45 talented animators gathered under the talented direction of director Pete Docter. Each footage is optimally polished so that viewers can see a spiritual world full of beauty. The voice actors for the emotional series are very soulful, making the emotional characters clearly depicted and come to life, real, making the viewers quickly absorb into the story. Inside Out gives viewers an incredible familiarity and warmth. With this film, Pixar has always been a special friend that accompanies generations of viewers and brings us magical moments that cannot be found anywhere else. If you haven't had a chance to see this movie, I'm sure this will be a great choice. Thank you for watching today's video. If you find this video interesting, please click the like button and subscribe to Ask K-Pop Entertainment. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.